What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon XY shiny hunting guide with me, the One Integral. Now the most requested sort of guide last episode was the Friend Safari guide, so I decided to combine that one with a random encounter one. So I'm going to go through the random encounter way of finding shinies, so just find them in the wild as, generally you do, I guess. So this is random encounters and the Friend Safari. First up, looking just at the basic random encounters, and I'll talk more about the Friend Safari later on. Okay, so for this you will need some very basic stuff. 1, access to grass or flowers, or even caves, or just place to surf as well. You don't have to hunt in grass and that. 2, a high level Pokemon, obviously, so you can run away from any Pokemon that aren't shiny, or if you really want to just attack the enemy Pokemon, the wild Pokemon, just to get a bit of experience. So it doesn't have to be amazingly high level, but it has to be high enough for the area you're in. You're also going to need some Pokeballs, because obviously if you find a shiny, you're going to want to catch it, otherwise you've sort of made the whole thing a bit redundant, haven't you? And then you might want to carry a False Swipe and or Sleep Paralysis, False Swiper just to get down to 1 health point, so you definitely don't accidentally kill your shiny, and also Sleep Paralysis or even Poison. Poison's a bit more risky though, same with Burn, so Sleep Paralysis are usually preferred. Sleep is actually the more preferred one, I think it does more. It's more effective, but Paralysis obviously just lasts all the time, whereas Sleep wears off eventually. And then you can also have the Encounter Power level 3, which is going to increase how often you find a wild Pokemon. This isn't amazingly brilliant because it only lasts for 3 minutes anyway, so and you're going to spend most of the time in battle anyway, so it's not amazing, but you can use it if need be. So basically, the strategy of finding wild Pokemon via random encountering is finding a patch of grass, getting on your bike, cycling up and down the grass, and then finding wild Pokemon. You'll get into a wild battle. If it's not shiny, you run, get into another one. If it's not shiny, you run. If eventually you'll find a shiny at some point, and then you can try and catch that shiny, and that'll be your shiny hunt over. Now there are several other things you can do, sort of to affect your shiny, or to sort of do as well as shiny hunting rather. So I'm going to go through all of these now. First up is Synchronize. If the Pokemon leading your party has the ability to Synchronize, then it's more likely that I think it's a 50% chance that the wild Pokemon you encounter is going to have the same nature as that Pokemon with Synchronize. Now, thing to note of all of the party leading Pokemon, they don't actually have to be sort of awake. They can be fainted. So most of the time, if you don't want to train up a high level Pokemon with Synchronize with the right nature and whatnot, so you can just get a low level one, a level 1, and then just let it faint, go into a wild battle, let it faint, and then just keep it at the front of the party, and it's still going to act and do its stuff there. So that's how you do that, and that's helpful for the shiny you're going to find is then going to have a better nature, it's more likely to have a good nature, the nature you want for it. The second ability we can use is Cute Charm. Now this is if you're looking for a certain gender Pokemon, okay, and the Cute Charm basically affects a gender. If, for example, you've got a female with Cute Charm at the front of your party, the wild Pokemon is more likely to be male. So if you're looking for a definite male, a shiny male Smeargle, let's say, and you definitely want a male one rather than a female one, you can use Cute Charm, and it's more likely then that there's going to be male than female. Obviously there's no guarantee, but it's more likely. Then we have Arena Trap or Illuminate. So if one of these Pokemon, or if a Pokemon one of these abilities is leading the party, obviously Trapinch has Arena Trap, Staryu has Illuminate, stuff like that. If they're leading the party, then I think wild Pokemon are 200% more likely to appear, so you're just going to encounter them more quickly. So it's sort of like an encounter power, but it lasts all the time, and you don't have to sort of use it every 3 minutes and whatnot. So it's very helpful. Obviously, if you combine that with the encounter power, you're going to find wild battles very quickly indeed. Then we have Static or Magnet Pool. Now Static is going to make it more likely for you to find electric type Pokemon in the wild. So if you're on a route where you can find Pikachu, for example, in Santidune Forest, and you definitely want to find a shiny Pikachu rather than anything else, you can put Static at the front of your party, and then you're more likely to find Pikachu, or more likely to find an electric type Pokemon than other ones, or it just increases the chance of electric type Pokemon appearing. Magnet Pool does the same, but for steel type Pokemon. So if you want a steel type shiny, you definitely looking for like one Pokemon that is a steel type, and you want it shiny, then you can put Magnet Pool at the start of your party, and it will work in the same way. Then we have Suction Cups or Sticky Hold. They basically make it more likely for your fishing rod to get hit. This is more linked to the actual a consecutive fishing guide. Obviously, if you go back in the playlist, it's or if you go back on my videos rather, it's there for you to look at. And that's it sort of links into that, because you're never really going to be using the fishing rod for random encounters without also doing consecutive fishing. So fishing is technically like the best way to find Pokemon via random encounters, but it's actually classed as consecutive fishing in this generation rather than a random encounter. Then we have some abilities and such you can use to do alongside your shiny hunting. The first one of these is Compound Eyes and Thief. So get a Pokemon that has Compound Eyes as the ability, for example Butterfree, or I think Vivillon gets it too, and teach it Thief, lead off your party with it, obviously make it high level, and then you can use Thief on the wild Pokemon to defeat them, and obviously if those wild Pokemon have got a chance to hold an item, Compound Eyes will increase the chance of that item being on the wild Pokemon, and then Thief will obviously allow you to steal it. You have to watch out to see if the item actually comes over or not, and obviously it's a good way to get some items that you can't actually get otherwise, like some evolution items, some sort of attack boosting items you can get multiple of. So it's helpful in that sense. And then the other option for this is Pick Up or Honey Gather. So if you're carrying, say your front Pokemon is your high level Pokemon, you can carry 5 Pokemon with Pick Up, and every time you leave a wild battle, there's a chance they can pick up an item and get given an item. So every couple of random encounters you might want to just check your party, see what items they've gathered, take the items from them, and then carry going back. Honey Gather is sort of the same thing, except it only gathers honey, which is sort of good, but then again Sweet Scent sort of just there's no point for honey in this generation because we have Sweet Scent, and obviously when I get onto the horde hunting video, that's when I'll talk more about that there. But yeah, you can do that as well. Finally, the last sort of thing you will need, or is recommended for shiny hunting via random encountering, is the shiny charm, and that's going to increase the chance of wild Pokemon appearing in the wild for you. Now it's already higher than it was in Generation 5 and Generation 6, but a shiny charm is going to increase it even further. We don't know the actual rates yet because obviously the game hasn't been sort of cracked and that, so we can't find the actual rates of this, but we do know it increases it because it says increases the chances of finding a shiny Pokemon in the wild. So if you've got the shiny charm, obviously you get this for completing the National Pokedex, then you're more likely to be finding shiny Pokemon in the wild, which is obviously very good. So, now let's talk about the Friend Safari. Now, from what we can gather, the Friend Safari basically works like getting a 40 chain on the Poké Radar, because the way we work this out is, when you're using the Poké Radar in Generation 4 and in this generation, when you reach a chain of 20, all the Pokemon you find are guaranteed to have 1 perfect IV. When you reach a chain of 40, all the Pokemon are guaranteed to have 2 perfect IVs. When you reach 60, it's 3, and 80, 4, and 100, it's 5 perfect IVs, and so on like that. So we know the Friend Safari also works sort of like that. You're guaranteed every Pokemon you find in the Friend Safari is going to have 2 perfect IVs. So the thing they might have done, we know that the shiny rates are higher in this Friend Safari because we just know this because it's obvious. So many people find shinies in the Friend Safari. I've heard stories of people going in, they'll find one shiny, and on the way out they will find another shiny. It's absolutely crazy how much it happens. So it's obvious the shiny rates are higher in the Friend Safari. Obviously you can't sort of in the Friend Safari you have to have friends sort of thing to find Pokemon. So obviously if you don't have the friend code of someone with the Pokemon you want, you can't hunt for that Pokemon. So the thing you can do, guys, is you can leave in the comment section below, if you know your Friend Safari and what Pokemon are in there, tell people, put your friend code down and put, I have a Ghost type Safari with whatever you have, and obviously if people want that, they can reply and tell you what they have, and you can exchange friend codes. So I want you guys to use the comment section of this video for that, because obviously Friend Safari hunting is going to be helpful if you guys can actually share your friend codes in the comment section below. But so my theory is that they've used the same sort of algorithm for Pokemon appearing in the Friend Safari as they do at Chain 40 for a Poké Radar. They have 2 perfect IVs and the shiny rates are the same. Now, for a Chain of 40 on the Poké Radar, in Generation 4, it was, let me just find the chances of that, it was very low. It's like 1 in, I can't remember exactly. I will find you for a second, guys. It's about 1 in 200. So obviously if you encounter 200 Pokemon in the Friend Safari, you should get a shiny, if my theory is correct in this case. But we know the rates are higher in the Friend Safari, so if you can, guys, hunt in the Friend Safari rather than just in the wild, generally, because you're more likely to get a shiny. So guys, I think that's pretty much it for this shiny hunting guide. You guys know everything you need to know for random encountering. Obviously everything here is not needed, you don't need all this stuff. You can just get Pokemon running some grass and that's random encountering right there. But obviously this stuff is going to help you, especially if you want a Pokemon with certain nature, certain gender, everything like that. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, show your love for the video and the series. Let me also know in the comment section what guide you want to see next. Do you want to see horde hunting? Do you want to see chaining? Even though I suck at chaining for X and Y, so don't really ask me to do that, it's not very good. What else is there? There is soft resetting I still need to do as well. I heard a lot of people asking what that was. Obviously, if you get the video on it, you guys will find out what soft resetting is for X and Y. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.